What is up, everyone? We are back for another episode of Spin from the Reel. Once again, I am Matt, and joining me is the personality himself, Chris Anthony Lopez.
A little extra gusto behind the. I like that. What's going on, y'all? What's good? My phone's going off, retweeting links, and now that we're live, follow us on Twitter down at the bottom. But what's good, everybody? Happy Monday. It's kind of cold in my APT. I turned the heat off because the heat was on all night. So I turned the heat off, and I forgot to turn it back on. So it's chilly. I'm rocking the jacket today. What's good, Shug? I see you in the chat.
Chris is more upset he's missing the Chicago Bulls right now.
The Bulls, yeah, man. They're playing the Raptors tonight, and I'm very eager. I got my Bulls hat on. Y'all can't hold on. Yeah, I got my Bulls cap on. So I still gotta do my thing. The Bulls are doing well, but
I mean, what team has a ring from this century? I just want to.
From this century, I mean, yeah, sure, but like the Bulls are killing it this year, and I if we beat the Raptors tonight, again, another we need a statement win. Chris, I'm extra. Dude, what do you mean I'm extra?
What? If you beat the quit acting like the Raptors are the Raptors from a few years ago. They're a lottery team.
Yo, I'm not saying that the Raptors are that statement win. Like we play the Knicks next. That would be like
that would be a statement win.
So we'll see. The Bulls are doing well though. I'm excited. To see what the future holds for the Bulls. We're not talking about that here. Real Sports is on Tuesdays. We're talking some
Colin's got a big project, so that's on a hiatus. It's still sport. But no. I'm really excited to be here. Just it's been a week, man. It's been a week. First 5 match week, it feels like in a while. We kind of slowed down on those, and now here we are.
When I was doing my notes, like I do my notes for the show as the matches are happening, and when I revisited my notes today, because spoiler alert for our conversation when we get to it, I just watched Kalinowski Moses right now. What's going on, Jeremy? I see you in the chat. But I just watched KO and the Silent Assassin today. Like legitimately 10 minutes ago. I just finished it. Nick's gonna get in that ass. Cool it. See the sirens, that's for your Knicks when the Bulls play them. But
no, that's because you live in Chicago, so like that's gonna happen.
And something probably happened at the United Center. Like I don't live too far from there. But all jokes aside, Spin from the Reel. I'm under Moses. I repeat, Nick's gonna get in that ass. We need to pump the brakes, Moses. Like, yo, shout out to Amaru. We'll get to your match with KO in a little bit. I was like, man.
And the Moses are coming for you quickly.
Right. Holy shit. I picked you last week. And you're coming at you trying to get in my Bulls ass. Like, when you pump the brakes, the Moses brothers. But no, much love to y'all. Not much love to your Knicks. Your Knicks are high. But yeah, 5 match week. But like I said, I realized how many matches we had once I revisited my notes. And yo, there's a bunch of good stuff, like a bunch of goodies. I really dug the Star Wars match. We'll get to that. We'll probably start off with that one.
To me, this honestly felt like one of those 5 match weeks from the beginning of the year, where all the matches are kind of fun and
right. There's a lot of good performances in this week.
Yeah, it didn't feel like that purgatory. It felt like we've been in the past month and a half, 2 months.
I think folks are just like, we're getting towards the end of the season, and shout out to E-Man. Effing hate them. Well, fucking hate them. And we're always talking about the Bulls. Oh, word. But yeah, let's talk schmoedown. But yeah, I mean, I think people are just waiting for the season to culminate at Spectacular. And like, we're just in this lull until like, let's do the singles final. Let's do the Star Wars final, which we'll talk about. Because we got one half of that final set. So we're doing that very soon. And the team's final, whenever we get there, people are just waiting for the season to just pick up actually don't want to say pick up the pace, but get towards the end, because Spectacular is that next big event that we got. And yo, here we are. Like, we're about a month out, which is crazy as hell to say out loud. I'm gonna say that the next few weeks. Spoiler alert on this show. I'm going to be surprised at how close Spectacular is because I'm not ready for that. I'm not ready for that weekend. That whole shindig is going to be a great time.
Love you,
Jeff. In the
Jeff.
chat. Glad you guys started your stream. I need something to help me fall asleep. Aw, you're so kind.
He wants to listen to your voice as he falls asleep, Chris.
I mean, Jeff, if you need more sleep aids, for Chris's sake, just kick back up so you can fall asleep to me every Thursday. But yeah, man, go check it out. Streaming everywhere, wherever you find your podcast. But that's besides the point. So, schmoedown, let's talk some movie trivia.
Yes.
So we talked Star Wars I think we talked Star Wars to begin the week last week. Want to do it again?
Yeah, but real quick before we get started, I want to say, I just want to give a shout out and prayer to our boy Shug. He's had a rough day. He's not with us right now. He's chilling in the chat. But people don't realize how big of a heart Shug has and how important he is to this community. And just if we can just do something special for him tonight with everything that's been going on, I really appreciate it. Like I'm realistically ready to say any Streamlab we get tonight, we'll give to Shug because, yeah.
Facts. No, totally. No, and Shug, I talked to Shug a little bit ago, and I mean, and every time Shug calls me, I feel like him and I are going to start crying by the things we say to each other. Yeah. But it's my man's having a rough day, and things are looking up.
Yeah.
After all that crazy stuff, but if you want to be so kind and put a Streamlab bid, you don't have to. Don't feel obligated. But if you do, that money will go straight to Shug. And I know, like, our channel could use a facelift, and especially with our ugly mugs, definitely could use it. But Shug's very, very important. So what we got going on here and the greater schmoedown community as a whole, all the stuff at LGR, and then coming over here, and we forever grateful. And Shug talked about it when he was on the show after the Cantina tapings and how kind y'all were to him. And I'm just talking to him and seeing him talk about it on the show, y'all can see how important that meant to him, or how much that meant to him. So much love to Shug. And like I said, if you want to donate, fantastic. You don't have to. Don't feel like you have to. Just send Shug a kind message if you can't donate. So just be nice, be cool to one another. We're all human. We have a lot. There's people with real shit going on. So it's not just movie trivia. As much as we like talking movie trivia, that's not always what it is, you know? So yeah, Jeff in the chat, I really nailed it. Shug is what the kids nowadays call sheesh. But bussin', yes, totally.
Chris hears that from his brother every day.
No, no, really, I say sheesh. I don't know about bussin'. That was shout out to Chrissy, shout out to Christina B, wherever she's at right now. Yeah, bussin'. I'll never forget that. That's like top 5 favorite things that happened this year on the show. I love that whole interview with Christina. Was awesome. It was nuts. I loved it so much. Shout out to her.
We got a great show for you tonight. Like I had to get the sentimental stuff out of the way because Shug actually does mean a lot to me, so I had to say that.
I'll probably start crying when we get off camera, but please go ahead.
But we got a great show for you tonight. The Rager, Rick Raddus, Triple R himself, has gone 3-0. DADDIO. He's going to be joining us tonight. We're going to talk all these matches. Without further ado, let's get it started with this Star Wars match.
Full spoilers, even the pay-per-view.
The pay-per-view's out. You have no excuses.
Yeah, it came out today.
It's been out for like 3 hours. If you haven't seen it, there's no excuses. Watch that shit after this, or watch it now and come back and watch the replay, because if you don't want to get spoiled, that's what you're going to do. We spoiled in that because honestly, that was one of the best pay-per-views in a while. But we'll get to that later.
We'll get to that. Yeah, we're talking Star Wars. Yes, Laura Kelly, goal leader, winner, goes to Star Wars final.
My favorite factions playing each other all the time. I hate it. I hate it.
It was a good one. It was a good match, though.
It was a good one, but why do my factions gotta play each other all the time?
That's how tournaments happen, man. What, you want Laura to lose to Eric Whiteley? That would have been pretty rad, honestly.
I love when. See, here's the thing.
My man's speechless. He can't even say anything.
I love Winston, but it would have been interesting to see Eric Whiteley just throw a spoiler and like just spoil the entire tournament. Like, he's finally arrived, but that's not what we got. We got Laura versus Gold Leader, and Gold Leader shows why he's still in the conversation for Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, and I guarantee we're gonna be talking the whole Rookie of the Year conversation a ton over the next next hour or so, because goal leader ASG in the chat, Riley would have been upset of the year.
Probably.
Paige would like to say, Paige versus Bateman would like to say something to you.
From Eman Moses for the one and only Mexarican, $50 for Shug.
Big love, Eman. Eman, if you're at Spectacular, I'm gonna kiss you right in the forehead, and if you're not, the second I see you, I'm gonna kiss you right in the forehead. That's rad. Shout out to Eman in the chat. But goal leader and Laura Kelly. Talking about Whiteley now, but goal leader, he went perfect in this, and that's almost how you got to play in Star Wars. The second we saw Laura miss a couple in the first round, I knew I had a bad feeling about this, you know. And granted, she played well. She went to multiple choice once in the second round with A New Hope, but it was goal leader. Goal leader was the talk of the town with this match, and him not even needing to go to a 3 or a 5. It's a testament to how well he played, and Laura just melting down in the third round. You know, like it's rough, especially in these high situations towards the end of the season. Like it's do or die. It's win or go home for the season. You're done. You know, like you don't get another match this year. And Laura, even though she's highly touted as a Star Wars competitor, as she should, I mean, we just saw her in a title match not too long ago. Just goal leaders just proving to a lot of folks why he was one letter off from taking Thomas Harper to sudden death. See, possibly besting him. Yeah. Who knows?
What upsets me is Laura Kelly seems to have like she got caught up in it all. Her past couple matches, the title match, we saw her get caught up in it. It looks like she got caught up in it today, this past week also. And it's like,
right,
damn, what? Not expect like she was one of those people you talked about. Oh yeah, it's gonna take down Thomas Harper, possibly have the belt by the end of the year. This, that, the other, and could we say she fell short of expectations? No, yeah, yes, a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B, because she did play for the title.
She did. Mm-hmm.
So, like, she didn't fall short, or she didn't completely fall short because she was there. She played. So, well, yeah, he just meant like she didn't. Like we're so used to her.
Yeah, poor choice of words. That's my bad, age.
Yeah.
But the stuff with Laura Kelly in regards to her not living up to expectation, I think really in Star Wars, especially when you're a high caliber player, it's title or bust. You know, like coming into the season, and especially the position Laura was put in. Email in the chat, if he gets past Nikki, if I got goal leader taking the belt, sorry to the major amazing man, but calling it. I mean, yeah, like I mean, it's hard to bet against goal leader, especially after he was one letter off from taking Thomas Harper to sudden death. And Jeremy Miller, it was heartbreaking when Ellis said green for clarification, and she still went with gray.
The G colors. Oof.
The GREs, as he put it in the match. Mm-hmm. You know, it's rough to it's rough to see somebody's season end like this, especially when they're highly touted and they had title shots before. If he gets past Nikki, haha. If Alex gets past Nikki,
damn.
I mean, Amaru, like my man, real vocal in the chat, and I'm curious. I'm curious to see Nikki's performances, especially the one the match Alex went up today on Patreon, or is going up today. We will not spoil that one because I haven't seen it. But
I haven't watched it.
It's going up today, so we will not talk about that match. But Kelly, I guess you could say it's a disappointment because he didn't win a belt. That's a lot of people's philosophies. I mean, we've gotten into discussions about like Ben Bateman. It's belt or bust. You know, that's the season. We don't know how Laura feels about that. If she echoes Ben's statement or his sentiment, but I mean, she still played for a belt. She still had some big performances this year, picking up some W's. You know, like it varies. To me, it's still a successful season, but Laura, she still has a bright future in Star Wars. She's still one of the top tier competitors. People still talk about her, and by people, I mean the top of the Star Wars mountain, the DeMolanta, the Damon, the Harper. They talk highly of Laura Kelly, and they do for a reason. and missing a few questions in Star Wars. Yeah, like it's only a couple, and we've seen people in other matches miss more questions, but you just can't be missing that many, especially when your opponent goes perfect. Like it's rough, going perfect first round, getting the bonus, going perfect second round, and then not knowing your 5. Like the 5's the most important question in the schmoedown on any given day, any given schmo day. Shouts to Corey and Dagan.
Mm-hmm. Love Corey and Dagan.
Much love, but it's hard. It's hard to go up against someone who's perfect. I guarantee that sentence has been uttered 1,000 times this year by hosts just like us or by people just like us, and it's fact. Like I only say it because it's true. But Goal Leader, he was a lot of people's favorite going into the tournament to take the whole thing, even in a tournament with Alex Damon in it, even in a tournament with
that speaks volume because he was the favorite with Alex Damon in a tournament.
Right,
Alex Damon.
I mean, we saw what Alex can do against Molly. We saw that last week. We talked about that last week, but now we're going to see what Alex can do against Nikki DiMolante, who is on fire. Again, I talk about that match. If you haven't seen it, it airs on a Wednesday publicly. But now Goal Leader faces one of them. Either we see Goal Leader's, he gets his match, he may get his match against DiMolante, but it may be Nikki, or Goal Leader gets to prove himself against the guy who had a chokehold on the Star Wars division for years. And I mean, who knows? We'll find out on Wednesday, or for us patients a little bit sooner. But Goal Leader's had himself one hell of a season, like what you mentioned earlier. Another piece of the conversation of Rookie of the Year. We also have to talk about Goal Leader. Yeah, he hasn't won a belt yet, unlike other fellow rookie Thomas Harper, but he could. Easily could.
He could be the one taking that belt from Thomas Harper.
Exactly.
And here, we mentioned Nikki. If she gets past Damon, what happens if she beats Gold Leader?
Yo,
I will. In your mind, would she take over his spot in the Rookie of the Year conversation? Because I think she has to at that point.
Shug said this 2 months ago. Whenever I forget when we first talked to Nikki, but when Shug, like after hearing Nikki talk about it, and
it was after the tournament was announced.
This was before any tournament matches aired or even played. I don't know when these things are recorded, but he said, like, if Nikki plows through this tournament and she beats Thomas Harper for the belt, bang, like the conversation's done. Conversation's over. Rookie of the Year, plain and simple. And I agreed with him. Amaroon obviously agrees with him, and E-Man in the chat obviously agrees with him. And HG makes a great point. Damon is a Dragon Con player. Goal Leader hasn't beaten yet. So we'll see, but we don't want to jump the gun, of course. Goal Leader had a great showing against Laura Kelly. And I haven't seen the polls. I haven't seen the conversations on the Reddits and the Twitters or the Instagram polls. But I bet a lot of folks probably had Laura Kelly for good reason.
I remember looking at those polls. Gold Leader was the one who was favorited.
And if he was, then people are starting to buy the Gold Leader hype, as they should. I mean, we love Gold Leader over here at Spin from the Real. But that was a great win, a great statement win. Talk about statement wins. Beating Laura Kelly is no, like, dirt off the shoulder. Like, but Gold Leader made it look that way. He made it look like, oh, you're just another competitor. Like, and I'm just gonna, play perfect, as one does, as one should in Star Wars, and take the W. And he did. So good on Gold Leader.
Yeah, no, I guess what I'm sitting here thinking is, as the resident exchange shill here,
right?
It's like, and this is why I'm bringing it up, because as much as I love Gold Leader, you got to sit here and wonder, would his spot be taken over if Nikki plays? Like, I mean, come on, it's something you got to think about, because
what do you mean if Nikki
if Nikki outplays, if Nikki gets past Damon and then outplays Gold Leader, like, for example, our guest today is 3-0.
Yes, right.
Gold Leader would have 2 losses on his record at that point.
Yeah, and we'd have to see how he would do in a final if he were to lose a final. Because that performance against Thomas Harper is still one of the better performances we've seen this year from that division. So I wouldn't immediately count him out. But I mean, when Suge said this, and I echoed it, and it sounds like you're echoing it as well. If Nikki plows through the tournament, and even if she just plays Thomas Harper spectacular, then she would be the second Star Wars competitor, Star Wars rookie, in the Rookie of the Year combo. I would still put Thomas Harper at the jump. But if she beats him, then Nikki would overtake him. Bang, Rookie of the Year, plain and simple. Overall Star Wars Player of the Year. It's a D Milan 2-horse race. Depends on how you look at it. But I'm very curious to see how Gold Leader would play against the Damon or against the Di Milanta, because if I'm not mistaken, he hasn't played either one of the D couples in Star Wars this year. And you can correct me, the chat can correct me if I'm wrong, but Gold Leader hasn't played Andrew, hasn't played Nikki, hasn't played Molly, hasn't played Alex. So it'll be a statement win nonetheless, because if it's Alex, holy shit, you just beat Alex Damon. And that's nothing to just be like, he beat Alex. No, he beat Alex. We all reacted when Di Milanta beat Alex for a reason, and he beat him twice, right? And if Nikki beats Alex, which talk about upset of the year, I know we're talking about if Whiteley beat Laura. If Nikki beats Alex, let's throw that into the ring as well. But if Nikki gets past Alex and Gold Leader bests Di Milanta, or vice versa, like these statement W's mean something, and they credit your Rookie of the Year status. Right now, to me, it's Thomas Harper, with consideration for others, our guests included when they get here, and someone else will talk about later in the show. But it's hard. Star Wars is the most difficult division, and that's why we're all so highly touted, why we love it so much, why we praise it so much. Because it's freaking difficult. But Gold Leader's out here going perfect. A lot of these folks are, because you almost have to in that division.
Killing it, and it's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
No,
but after... go ahead.
I'm really curious to see how Evan continues going forward. And I want to know who he plays. That's what I want to know.
Knowing who he plays also, it would make the conversation easier, because we have to talk both hypotheticals. But again, and no spoilers in the chat. If you've seen the match, if you watched it a little bit earlier or watching it now, whatever, we will reserve that for next week. So either way, Gold Leader has, I mean, if he plays Alex, then talk about like crazy ass competition, because it's Alex Damon, of course. Right. But if Nikki bests Alex, then it would be, holy shit, where'd you come from? And now I gotta play you.
No, not where'd you come from? Because everybody actually before this year was saying Nikki Di Milanta can just.
But if you ask her, like, she would be like, "Yo, like she didn't want to do this, and now look at her now. Like, I agree with you wholeheartedly, and I've told her this to her face. I'm like, yo, like you're out here proving yourself in the division, but Gold Leader." Like, and all his theatrics and the gold jackets and such, and his feud with Thomas Harper, people want to see that, you know? People want to see Gold Leader Thomas Harper too, myself included. I would love to see that match. They can announce it tomorrow, and I'm like, yes, please give me more. But Nikki could run in that parade. Alex could run in that parade. What would we see Alex Damon Thomas Harper at spectacular? Like the guy that had the reign over Star Wars over the dude who has the belt now, who has been the most highly touted rookie of his class. That would be a match. Like, Christian can't book that any better.
No, he can't. He really can't.
Damon Harper would be shit. No offense to anybody else already booked on the spectacular card. That could damn near main event your show.
Yeah.
Like that. That's how
might, honestly.
And like, if that was me, it's in consideration. I love singles. I love teams. I know singles will definitely main event. But just the story behind the Star Wars this year. Good on everyone involved in that division. Like, because that shit is nuts. And I've said this before. I'll say it again. It'll be like I've done a whole 180 on Star Wars over the last 18 plus months. ASG in the chat, I see ya. Of course, yeah, Star Wars isn't gonna main event. Like,
It's not gonna main event, but if you had the Damon versus
if
Harper,
it's Damon Harper,
it has that potential to just be like Christian and be like, you know what, main event it.
I mean, it's not gonna happen. But if I had any say in the schmoedown, which I don't, I have none. Like, I have less say than anybody I can think of. But if I did, that'd be like my one little 2 cents, my one comment. If it's Alex Damon, and Thomas Harper, at least got to consider it, because that would be pretty nuts. And I mean, it all depends on the singles final, how that turns out, the teams final, how that turns out, but more so singles. But still, like, y'all catch my drift. Singles is still going to main event, but come on, wouldn't it be fun to see Star Wars main event a show? I think that'd be pretty nuts. But do we want to do Untouchables Danger Zone?
I mean, I would, but it seems like a guest is actually here.
Okay, word. Duly noted. Our guest is here.
He says, hold on. So let's get into this, because
he hit me with the all caps in the
right.
private chat too.
So
that mother trucker.
Let's talk about Danger Zone and the usual suspects. Why is the team name slipping me? Why is the team name
Danger Zone? Untouchables.
Untouchables. Thank you. I was talking about the Untouchables. The name the Untouchables was slipping me. Paige for Betty had the opportunity to end Ben Bateman's season, be the person to end Ben Bateman's season, and unfortunately, her and Drew McQueenie fell short.
Look, okay, and I know we have some suspect heads in the chat, and I don't want to seem and sound too cross, but like, Drew McQueenie's return this season has been something. It's been something. Leo Logan makes a great point. Where does McQueenie go now that his return to the show is 1-3, you know? And if this is like OG McQueenie, like when McQueenie was teaming with Sam and put with Paige now, then all right, they would have won this match. They totally would have. Paige would have had like, I beat Ben Bateman twice, and his season, loser. But now she can't say that, and I don't blame Paige for that, and I don't want to make it sound like McQueenie played bad. He didn't. He definitely put in his work in the second and third rounds. He struggled a little bit in the first round, but it's hard to go against a Ben Bateman who does pretty well in the first round, a Dan who went perfect in the first round. They get Spinner's Choice, and can I said this to Ben on the all-night taco stand on Schmoes in the North this past or was it a couple days ago? This past weekend?
It was a couple days ago, yeah.
I said this to Ben then, so it doesn't seem that cross, but something about Black actors, Ben Bateman just loves going to them in these matches, and it works for him. Like, he's known for the Tyler Perry stuff. They got Ice Cube in this, and he was crushing it.
Bro,
he got a Will Smith
2.0. I'm glad I'm not the only one who thought that. I'm like, this dude really just does great with Black actors.
No, like, and Ben laughed at what I said, so it looked like a happy coincidence when I told him, but it was like, yo, like, Black actors seem like your bread and butter in these things, and it works. Granted, yeah, I'm not saying Dan didn't know anything, because he totally did, but these guys, when they stuck with Ice Cube and they picked Ice Cube from Spinner's Choice, like, oh, okay. This is after Untouchables went perfect in Emily Blunt, which is which is a surprise to me. I love seeing that, but Ice Cube worked, and it gave them the advantage. They were up 28-23, and that was really all they needed. Ben just needed the 2, and Untouchables couldn't get their 5. It's the story of not getting your 5. That seems like a trend from last week.
It really does, because even in the match we'll talk about in just a little bit after we talk to our guests, that happened there too. I gotta say, them knocking that Ice Cube category out of the park just was like.
I mean, again, it's Ben Bateman. Now, for all the schmoedown competitors that are listening to this or will watch this later, if you guys watch this, if you do, thanks. But if you do and you play Ben Bateman, odds are a black actor will be on the wheel, and odds are that is his pick. That is his go-to. It seems, and like Tyler Perry's worked for him in settings like this. Ice Cube, yeah, it's only 2, but still, like, he's proving great success, and he seems like he targets those, especially as of late in recent memory. But Danger Zone looked great in this. Dan looked like it was like a return to form for Dan Murrow, who's had like a real up and down season, winning belts, losing teams finals or losing teams number 1 contenders matches, and then coming back into the tournament. But Dan looked great in this match. Brian in the chat, suspects only have Lightning Time, Paige, and Nikki left this season.
Yikes. That's...
Yeah, like Paige's match with Griffey Nooms coming up soon. Di Malanta, we mentioned, she plays Alex, and then Lightning Time has a title match soon.
So realistically, that could... Let's be honest. All right, right now the Stars are out of contention for the big prize at the end. Swag out of contention for the big prize at the end. The Den, sorry, Shug, out of contention for the big prize at the end.
Not going to poop with the Den.
I said sorry, Shug.
No, I'm not saying you are. I'm just saying not in general. We're not going to do that today.
And then the Mercs, they need all those people to stay in to even have a shot, because they're, as of last Friday's pay-per-view, they only have 57 points, so they have to win out to even have a shot.
Right. Like, it's do or die, man. And granted, if I'm the suspects, like having Alan Smithy, the director, was good. Unless Sam comes out of retirement because Roka. That'd be rad. That'd be pretty rad. That's another great choice for who plays Roka. It's spectacular. If it happens. We'll see.
Well,
having Nikki, Paige, and Lightning Time, that's good as 3 to have in their respective divisions.
I kind of feel bad because Paige has been like on such this hot streak. Could this slow it down?
Oh, having them lose to Danger Zone.
Because she was gaining that momentum towards Rookie of the Year.
Right.
If they lost that match. What if she loses her next one?
Another loss.
You look at that's her what's that? Would that be a 3-3 record at that point?
Is she were to lose again?
Would it be 3-3 or 4-3?
If I'm not mistaken, like if she
between all divisions.
Doesn't she only have 2 L's between all divisions?
That's what I'm trying to.
Or am I tripping?
No, you're right. No, I said if she loses, she loses.
Oh, she loses to Griffey Nooms, then she'd have a 3rd loss on her record. But at least overall in the season. And Paige is right in this high. I mean, beating Ben Bateman and doing it the way that they did, and like coming on this show and making Chris cry, like that's definitely like one hell of a way to implement yourself in your rookie season. And like we said, our guest did something very similar coming on this show, making me cry. But the momentum, I wouldn't say it's come to a complete stop.
I'm saying what would it end the momentum towards that Rookie of the Year bid she's looking for?
She has to win the tournament to stay in consideration, because Thomas Harper, and we could potentially have 2 rookies in the Star Wars final. And I don't want to spoil our conversation for later, but I like Amadou Moses in our geekdom. I'm not even trying to butter him up because he's in the chat. Like, I was emotional, watching his match. And can we not? I don't need to cry before this game. I'm gonna be on the verge of tears when we get to that match, bro. Yeah,
I'm gonna be dead ass.
I'll explain more when I get there. But Amadou Moses, again, we got to keep him in consideration too. But to me, Paige has to win the tournament.
Yeah.
And if she loses the Griffey Nooms or she loses the final, I think we can say her run at Rookie of the Year has come to a stop.
Yeah.
But it all depends on the tournament for her.
Yeah.
The singles tournament, I should say. But it's rough, and having her lose to Danger Zone, and This is the danger zone that we halfway expected for the entire season, and we saw a lot of that earlier this year, the first team's tournament.
Yes,
and
sir.
Now they're running through it again, and if Dan remains perfect, if Ben Bateman could start matching Dan in that perfection in matches, holy shit! Like we may be seeing a danger zone involved team match at Spectacular. And who the hell knows? Who knows? But they looked really well against the Untouchables, and it's I don't want to blame Drew McWeeny again, but to me, like Drew just seemed off this whole year. Even after the W, people were ready for like, oh yeah, Drew's back, baby, yeah.
And even one of his W's this year, that one against the Barbarian, a lot of people questioned the
little bit of an asterisk, right? So I wouldn't, even after the one W, it's like let's pump the brakes on. He's back. He may be present. I don't know if it's the same Drew.
I think he's still got to get his bearings under him.
Right. ASG talking about a Rookie of the Year, Harper, goal leader, winner of Newman for Betty, DiMolanta, and Amaru. Yes, I totally agree with that. That's something. And we haven't mentioned Griffey Nooms' name as much in that conversation.
Well, we normally mention him. Well, to be fair, all of the people that we're talking about in that conversation have played in this last week.
Right, and Newman's another one, and we talked
about Griffey a lot last week
with King Arthur.
But one man we haven't talked about, and he's right here in the chat, and I think he's gonna have some words for us. He's been waiting for us, and I think he's getting a little bit pissed. Is the Rager Rick Raddus himself?
No, it's me, the spooky movie trivia scarecrow.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's the movie trivia scarecrow, everybody. Yes.
No, I'm just kidding, but you cry, babies.
How's
that feel? Is that fun when you promote the show as one thing and somebody else shows up? Is that cool? Is that what you guys like to do on here? How did that feel on that side?
Hey, that was all Shug. I had nothing to do with that. Chris was on vacation.
I was on vacation.
Shug said, I got Rick Raddus. I'm like, okay, that sounds weird to me. And normally he talks to me and Taylor and I. That's so.
Yeah. No. Look, I'm just Josh, and I'm just having a good old goofball time. I'm here at a really scared headquarters doing a little shareholders meeting, and there's a lot of weird stuff down here.
You're a shareholder and really scared?
Yeah. I'm actually a shareholder in this entire channel. I'm thinking about making some changes around here. So,
excuse me?
Total line, Lopez. Total line.
So, I mean, first of all, Rick, thanks for coming on the program. Mark Hosmus in the chat. Rangers, thank you for coming back to the show. I know the last time wasn't so hot. It got heated in here. I wasn't here for that. Better or for worse. And you know what? Let's clean. Can we do a clean slate? Clean slate.
Yeah, you know what? That's all fine. That's all good and dandy, Daddy-O. I'm turning over a new leaf. I'm starting afresh because I just finished up a perfect season. So it's a great time for new beginnings.
Yeah, how does that make you feel that everybody's leaving you out of this Rookie of the Year conversation after a perfect season?
That's to be expected. They're all a bunch of chuckleheads. They don't know anything about anything. Here's the thing. I'm going to be the only, I shouldn't say I'm going to be the only rookie who makes it into the season without a loss. Griffey Newman's doing really fine for himself. He's got 2 tournaments to win. So he could be right there. And we are, of course, great friends. We are, as Moose said, muchachos. So, we are cut from the same cloth and plucked from the same dossier. So I wouldn't be surprised if at the end of the season, Finstock Exchange was the only one with a couple perfect seasons. Leaving me out of the Rookie of the Year conversation, it's tomfoolery. I'm not concerned about it. These people don't know anything. I mean, have you seen the way I've played? I'm 3-0, and I told you that was going to be the case. I told you I was going to play a perfect season, and if you didn't believe me, then you just weren't listening. You played yourself. It's your fault. It's fine. It's fine. The results will speak for themselves as they continue to do all season.
Yeah, I forget. Weren't you the first rookie with a KO this season, technically?
TKO, that sounds about right. That sounds about right. And I was pretty close to ending my season with a TKO as well. But we, nobody's perfect except for my season.
See, and before we get to your match at the Cantina against Frankie Alvarez, it was a heated match, and both of you guys had some choice words towards one another.
Yes.
What are your thoughts on goal leaders run through Star Wars? I know we just got to talking about it, and he's a faction mate. He's a fellow plucky of the dossier. How do you feel about goal leaders running Star Wars? If you can be candid, Rick Raddus.
He's a legend. I mean, he's going to be the Star Wars champion at the end of the season. That people are talking about him for Rookie for the Year. Now that is an intelligent conversation. I commend them for getting something right in their silly little lives. No, he's doing fantastic. I mean, he's just mowing through the competition. Thomas Harper's keeping the belt warm for him, and we all know that. What happened last time was a fluke. Gold leader is coming for the gold belt. It's a color coordination, right? It's stylish. It's profilish. It's good. I can't wait to see it. He's doing fantastic. I mean, gold leader's a goddamn genius, if I'm being quite frank with you.
I mean, we are some big fans of Gold Leader over here,
Oh, yeah.
and most of us are big fans of yours as well. At least going into this match with Frankie Alvarez.
I heard no. Well, hold on now. Last week I did. I didn't hear because I wasn't listening because I was busy. But at my shareholders meeting, I heard that Chris Anthony Lopez he did pick the Rager to win, which is good.
I did, yes,
which is good. But he said the Rager needed this win more. What the fuck does that mean?
Wait, whoa, Rick.
Did it?
Look, Rick. I know Matt decided to look.
Hello.
Just let's not treat this, or let's not make this any bigger than it is. I said it was a must-need win for Rick Raddus, especially in front of a live crowd. People got to see you. You weren't just like an anomaly that just popped in and did movie trivia. People saw you. They got very close to you. You threw candy at them. You threw various snacks, as Christian worded it.
Yes, they were Hostess and Little Debbie pies. Yes.
Words. So,
and if you weren't sure, I had announced when I came out. The mics didn't pick this up. I told everybody, "Daddy's home. Eat
Daddy's
your food."
home. Word.
And they did.
And it was a must win. And I mean, in hindsight, we can say that you won, and it was definitely needed, not only for your movie trivia career, which is 3-0, DADDIO, as you like to say it, but it was also needed for you to establish yourself that you're not just this guy in a robe that may or may not be silky. And
this one's got my name on the back. Did you see that?
Yes, I did see that.
Pretty nice, huh?
Yes, we had some spies at the cantina that did tell us you had a new robe.
Yes.
So
AKA Christian Harloff's Twitter.
Yes, and Christian did blast it everywhere.
But who is that gentleman in your promo video who is taking care of you?
You have a butler? What the hell?
Punjab? Yeah, he's a good guy. He came with the place, Skybound, they did pretty good. They set me up pretty well. Was it the best I'd ever seen? No. Was it the best I'd ever stayed in? Not quite. But it was pretty nice. And Punjab, he really kept me comfortable. He ran a little study sesh with me. He brought me champagne. He's great. I'm actually seeing if I can fly him out here. I think I'd love to just have him in my employ 24/7. He did a miraculous job. I'm glad you noticed. A lot of people got lost in which, by the way, beautiful Nerd Chronic promo. Am I right? One of the best of the year.
Shout out to Nerd Chronic.
Obviously.
Yeah.
I was a little sad that we didn't get to see as much as Punjab as the young man probably wanted, but I'm glad you noticed. Yeah, he's great.
So Jeremy Miller actually posted something in the chat. 3-0, and where does the Rager go from here? And you kind of alluded to that in your post-match interview. So you want to talk about that a little bit? Because you called out a certain director.
Yeah, I called out Kevin Smith, obviously. You want to know why I would call out Kevin Smith? And it's interesting. I noticed it in the chat just now. A non-rookie is next to Rager, right? That's what it's got to be, right? As Chris, you would say, he needs to win against somebody who's not a rookie, maybe. Look, I didn't do anybody any favors to get the booking I did this season. I just play who they put in front of me, and I beat them every single time that they do. But going into next season, I'm kind of thinking, I feel like I've proven everything I need to against the fellow rookie class this season. Next season, we need to go in loud. We need to make a statement. And I want people to see the Rager like they've never seen him before. So what could I do to make a statement other than call out the biggest name in the movie trivia schmoedown? I ain't talking about, the champion. I ain't talking about who's got the win-loss record. I'm talking about the biggest name. I'm talking about the guy that you bring in to put butts in the seats and sell tickets. And that's Kevin Smith. That man's so high profile. That's a man who exists on the Ragers caliber. Now, I want people to understand next season when you want to sell tickets and when you want to put butts in seats, you don't worry about Kevin Smith. You don't worry about Paul Walter Hauser, and you sure as hell don't worry about Chris Jericho. You don't worry about any of these sideshow attractions. You get the Rager. You want to tell a main event story? You get the Rager. So I called out Kevin Smith because I'm sick of people thinking of where'd that kid go? I'm sick of people thinking about thinking of Kevin Smith as the peak, the biggest name in the game. No. It's going to be the Rager, but to be the man, you got to beat the man, and that's what I'm going to do next season. High profile fight, big fight field. Is he good enough to beat the Rager? Look, I didn't call him out for a sparring match. I want a match. I want a challenge. Is he good enough to beat the Rager? Some would certainly probably think so. Do I think he will? Obviously not. It's because I'm going to try my damnedest to beat the man. But is he good enough? We'll see. I've called him out. It's time for him to answer my call. Now, I saw him poo-poo-pooing. I saw him sour pussing after his last match after he lost to Marisol, which, by the way, it's a shame. It's a shame that I couldn't be the first to beat Kevin Smith. Maybe I could be the last to beat Kevin Smith. Maybe I beat him so bad he never shows his face around these parts again.
Rick, don't.
What?
Look, and Leo says that Rager got a French kiss question right after missing his first one, thinking Kate Leopold was French kiss.
No. Listen up, Leo Logan. I thought Kate Leopold was restoration. Pay attention, all right? Pay attention. Don't be like the Rager in round 2. Pay attention.
Yeah, let's talk about that because you land on Spinner's choice. And horror's on the wheel. Everybody's like, oh, he's going to take horror.
It's the worst kept secret in the Western Hemisphere.
Yeah. And even Christian, when you said, oh, we're going to take Meg Ryan, you could just hear the crowd go, what?
Yeah, well, look, I said it after the match as well. Here's the biggest joke of them all, right? They bring me out there. People buy tickets with my name on it. They sit in their seats, and then the Rager comes out, and they start booing. They start booing. They're there to watch me, and they're booing. They think they know the Rager. They think they understand what I like, what I dislike, what I'm strong in, what I'm weak in. They don't know the first thing. All they know is what I let them know. I love Meg Ryan movies. That woman's a goddamn national treasure.
She is. Mm-hmm.
Please, that should be everybody's strength. So, yeah, I put Meg on the wheel. A little bit of a swerve, right? And everybody fell for it, hook, line, and sinker. Couldn't have gone better.
I mean, in that match, and Christian was very vocal about how it was really scruffy how that match was, and the first round, both you guys didn't do too at least great, and at least I bet you, Rick, would have loved to have a better performance in round 1 because you went
a couple of those
5-8.
First 2 questions back,
right? Both of you. Struggled a little bit. You obviously having a lead going into round 2, picking Meg Ryan after Frankie struggled with Disney. And you, as you mentioned, and Ty Lieberman in the chat, when they zig, we zag. And when they zag, we zig. And then when they zig and zag, we knock them out. So that's real poetic there, Ty. Thank you. Friend of the show, Ty Lieberman.
Amen.
But
he's great. By the way, got to try a sip of the Finstock Reserve. Simply delectable. Great stuff.
So question, did the price go up?
The price skyrocketed, bitch.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
But Rick, if we can, go back to the match for a second before we keep talking about our adult beverages or just our
no. That was talking about the exchange itself. The price goes up.
Has it ever been higher? Has it ever been higher? Look at what we're doing this season. We got 3 tournaments to win. We got an absolute legend queuing up a retirement match at Spectacular, and we're all going to be there. Whether you like it or not, we're all going to be there. This season belongs to us, and everybody, all the corruption fans, the quirky merc heads, even you dungeon weirdos have been lying to yourselves, pretending that it was going to be yours all year. That's because we let you think. Here comes the swerve. Pay attention. Here comes the prestige, baby. Do a little switcheroo magic for you.
Rick, yes. If I can ask, how was it in that live crowd? Because that was your first time in front of a live crowd doing some movie trivia for the schmoedown.
Yeah.
And I mean, Rager's had his you've had your escapades. You've been vocal about them in your lifetime, however long it's been. But how was it there at the cantina that day? Because I was aware, and our boy Shug did tell us that he ran into you. and he got to interact with you just a little bit. But how was it there for you coming into this? Just was it as a fan, maybe as just a competitor? How did you view the whole experience?
You ever just walk into a room and feel like you own the place as soon as you get there? Feel like everybody there is in the palm of your hand and it watches you and listens to your every word and it's just like magic every time you step on the stage. That's what it felt like, Chris. That's what it felt like. And it felt like the Rager had been born again. It felt like I had just exited a vast womb into a beautiful world. Rager live in front of an audience is the way that it's meant to be. This is fine, connecting this way. I've done a lot of things in front of a webcam in my lifetime. This is fine. But to get there in person, to really take in the ambiance, the mise en scène of the Ragerverse was unlike anything I've ever felt. And you saw how goddamn good I look in this robe. You really can't. This really doesn't do it. Like, you're losing all the details and the darkness and the shadows here and the pixels. You really get a sense of just how damn good I look in these things when I come out and play live. And it felt great to get my hands on the wheel. It just felt great to be a part of the energy, to give it, to get it. It's where I was meant to be, obviously.
Real quick, you spun from the pegs, sir. You spun from the pegs, and no one said a damn thing.
Yeah, it's because I spin from whatever the hell I please, baby.
I mean, yeah. See, Rick, I think at this point, and folks aren't talking about the like Rager and the Rookie of the Year conversation for whatever reason. And yeah, Jeremy, it's a great point. The webcam life must be
because they're dummies. Because they're troglodytes.
Yeah, speaking of which, Rager kind of brought something with him today.
You brought a gift?
Oh, look at that. What a beautiful little banner. What a nice idea. Rager for Rookie of the Year. ROTY, Rager of the Year, the Rookie of the Year.
He's trying to be quadruple R.
Quadruple R. As it should be. Anybody who's been paying attention, look, I fought competitors from any faction you put in front of me. I've played twice on pay-per-view, once in front of a live audience. I've had a banner year. Didn't need to play in the tournament, didn't need to play in the free-for-all. All I needed to do was play, and that was enough to sell the show, baby. And that's all I've done all season. See, that's the thing. Anybody can show up and get questions right, but to play like I play, to steal the show, to make it my own, that's a gift you got to be born with, DADDIO. You can't make a spreadsheet to figure that out. You can't pull that off a pack of fucking flashcards, dude. This is how it is. I am the Rookie of the Year because nobody does it like me. Nobody's done it like me, and nobody will ever do it like me. This has been my year, my season, and I haven't misstepped once. It's been flawless. I mean, what else could you ask for? Some guy knows the name of a spaceship? Give me a break. This is my season.
To be fair, he's got a point. He's got a knockout win, he's got an overtime win, and he's got a normal win. He's got the 3 types of wins you can want.
No, I'm just winning this, baby.
Right, and I'm not gonna diss the Rager. This is Rick. I've been such a critic of or much a Rick-ick. No, this doesn't make sense. A critic of the Rager. This whole season because you came in hot and you had an attitude and you had just trust me, like I love the personality you bring. I do.
It's not like you have a personal vendetta against them for acts committed against you in the past.
No, like in the past life, Rick and I may have we may have crossed, but you know what? Like that was Oklahoma. Like I'm in Chicago now, and I'm a whole different person. So you know what? Like
that's my safety word, Oklahoma.
Duly noted. But I respect your the personality and the character that you bring to the schmoedown because I mean there at the cantina we saw like you and Frankie on this very show on other after shows as well. Both of you guys had some choice words for each other and that carried in and it played a bigger part into the match. Was that something like that day? Did you see Frankie before you guys did your entrances? Did the animal and the Rager have any type of interaction, or did they have to keep the both of you away? Because he was ready to get physical with you right before the match started.
Oh yeah, Frankie. He's a spooky one. Be careful. Now look, 6 feet apart ain't far enough. We needed an whole new kind of quarantine when you put the Rager and the Animal in the same building. Yeah, and they had to put him over there in the corner. I think they had a couple of shiny objects, some keys, and some treats, and some things to keep him occupied, to keep his mind off of things. Just for everybody's safety, which was good to see. It was good to see that Skybound took it that seriously. No, look, we did everything we needed to do. We had some fun, right? We came on this show, that show, Twitter, whatever. We had some fun. And when we got there, it was time to play. And that's what we did. Was it the prettiest match in the world? No, but it's a match you are never going to forget. And that's what happens every single time I play, right? I give you fools something to talk about, right? You have these shows because you want to talk about this game. And I make sure this game is always worth talking about. And, I would like to say Frankie Alvarez had something to do with that too. Like, for me, I don't dwell on the past, right? Right, Chris, you get this. Water under the bridge. I got my W. Other people might instill some kind of loser behavior. They dwell on the past. They say, oh, I should have won. He got lucky, this and that. Full speed ahead. And as far as I'm concerned, me and Alvarez, we've danced our little dance, and now it's full speed ahead. So, couldn't have done it without him, right?
Well, that leads me to a question. There is an award for Feud of the Year. You think it could go to anyone but you two?
I mean, who the hell else? I mean, I understand it's not been as easy to tell these stories in the virtual sphere, but didn't stop these guys, right? We laid it all out on the line across mediums. We met face to face. Feud of the Year. I mean, I would, who's feuding? I ain't upset about it, but who else? Who else? Sure, I'd say Feud of the Year. You're goddamn right we are. Who else could it be? Look, they're not even booking these kinds of matches anymore, right? It's tournament season. It's title shots. They said Rager and Frankie. That's such a high-profile marquee fight. We got to get these guys in front of an audience. We got to put this match on pay-per-view, and we got to market at a time where it's all about end-of-year, spectacular, this and that. No, they took the time to give us a stage. They took the time to give us a microphone, and they let us go out there and put it all out on the line and settle our differences. And it was one of the best show-stealing performances you're going to see all season. So Feud of the Year, I'd certainly think so. And yes, it's got to be said. Part of what drove me up there was, of course, the holy redemption, the power. I did have Lomas bless this rope just before I got on the flight. So in a way, he was with me the entire time. That's always true. I never forgot how he got here in the first place, which is just how just despicable that man was towards my good, sweet brother Lomas. And I didn't appreciate that. And I would say, everything happens for a reason. That's what Lomas always tells me. So maybe it had to go that way just so I could whoop that man's ass in Los Angeles. So divine intervention. In any case, Feud of the Year, I'd say obviously just like I'm Rookie of the Year. Yeah, how many other trophies could I win? Go ahead. List them all out.
Pretty sure that's it. But speaking of trophies, let's talk about belts because you've won 3 straight. If we look at history, you could be looking at a number 1 contenders match soon, or even a title match.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
I feel pretty good about it. I mean, let's be honest. After, assuming Kevin Smith answers the call, assuming he's not too blitzed on the set of Moose Jaws or whatever the hell that weirdo's doing, assuming he comes and plays me because I've laid down the gauntlet. After that, I'll be what, 4-0? I mean, what we got to do before they start throwing a parade for me? How many wins I got to get in a row? Title fight, sure. When they're ready for me to get a title match, I'll take it. Here's the thing: I don't need the belt. The belt needs me. They got players who can win belt. Sexiest player in satin. I'd love to see that trophy. Where's it at? I'll come collect it right now. Obviously, here he is. Look, it was just like I was saying. You just put me on the card, that's a marquee fight. You put me on the show, that's a show worth watching. You don't have to put the belt in the mix, okay? You don't have to throw me in a tournament. You don't have to throw me in the free-for-all. You could do those things. But you got players who need that help just a little bit more than the Rager does. So don't get me wrong. When I feel like getting a title match, I'll go get it. But for the time being, I'm just going to keep stealing the show in my own way. When it's time for me to do it with the belt, take that opportunity away from somebody else who could have really used it, really needed it. Yeah, sure. I'll go do it. No skin off my back. No satin off my robe.
Duly noted. And with the whole like Ricky conversation, Rick, I thought you brought something totally different to the schmoedown that this year and the full digital year, I think we desperately needed. And that's that bigger than life, that larger than life personality that can translate the screen, that can go through. Cam really
Chest of the year, because in that promo, we got
yeah, that was a real exposed. That was definitely the most we've seen of the Rager, quite literally.
Yeah, I'm pretty proud.
Promo.
I'm pretty proud.
No, by all means, as you should be.
Yeah.
But with the season, how it's come so far, and this is the end, unfortunately, for the Ragers' debut season. Granted, you've played awfully well, have made a lasting impact, but next year's going to look kind of different. Regardless if Kevin, I was going to say Kevin Smets for a second. Maybe you play Kevin Smets one day, but if Kevin Smith
anybody
or anybody else answers the call, you may or may not be part of the Finstock Exchange because of the changes that are being implemented next year. And I've asked every competitor this has come on our show, and I'm curious into your thoughts, Rick. How does the idea of just not being with the exchange impact you, if at all, going into next season?
You want to hear something surprising? It makes me weep.
I was about to say,
don't cry, Rick.
It makes me feel like I unplug my microphone sometimes when I get so upset. It makes me feel all jelly-like inside. Look, here's the thing. In the same way that I go and steal the show, no matter where you put me, how I play, who I'm against, the Finstock Exchange has ran the show this season, top to bottom, across divisions. They're going to end the entire format of this show because we've hit the zenith. The Finstock Exchange this year, we're at the peak. Who else could possibly do it like we've done it? When you think about the fact, we have the most wins of the season.
27 wins.
I'm glad somebody's counting.
The losses too.
That's true. Read my mind. Not as many points. That's weird. But we don't need to get into that. We've ran the show and we ain't done. Like I said, we got 3 tournaments to win. We've got a spectacular steal, and we've got a faction title to put around our waist. So we ain't done. When I think about what we've done, though, it's really special. It's unlike anything you'll ever see again. So what a way to end the faction era, as it were, if that's what they're saying. The idea that maybe the Rager couldn't do it next season, even if he does, it's going to be different than it was. Yeah, that's a little scary. Change can be scary, but the Rager is damn adaptable. I'm like a freaking nematode, man. You could pluck me out of the mud. I'll become what I need to survive. So if I got to go out on my own, if I don't got a faction to back me up, that'll be damn sad. And I'll continue to weep as I do. You see those bathtubs, that ain't just bubble bath. There's a lot of tears in there. There's a lot of stuff in there. But I'll be sad to see it go. But I'll know that deep down I'll always have the angelic brother Lomas looking over me. I know I'll always have the taste of blood. Who did I get that from? That's from the barbarian. He taught me that. A scarf on the rack from Ty Lieberman. A nice beer stein from Moose Haas, right? The infinite wisdom of Bobby Gucci. The gift of the gad from John Broca. The spelling and grammar ability of JTE, Little Evil.
I don't know if you want that one.
The wisdom and the compassion of Taylor Robinson. The pizzazz of Gold Leader, right? Of course, Griffin Newman, my fellow undefeated rookie, and the regal ability of one King Khan. Even Kim Taylor Foster must get her flowers. That lady would have wrecked shop. Here's the thing: everybody in the Finstock Exchange, even if I have to go forward without them, I'm always gonna have a little piece of them, right in there. right in there everywhere I go. Everything I learned, everything I accomplished, I owe a little bit of that to the Finstock Exchange. Of course, I owe a lot of it to myself, but I owe a little bit of that to the Finstock Exchange. We're amazing. We're legends. We're goddamn unstoppable.
Apparently, Chris's cat isn't. No. What are your plans for next year outside of possibly playing for a title? Could we see you enter another division by chance?
Look, all I'll say is it's not impossible. Could I play for a title if I feel like it? Will I beat Kevin Smith? Obviously. And where do we go from there? Even if the Rager ain't in a faction, maybe he'll be maybe he'll spark up a duo, a partnership somewhere, find an ally in the battlefield. We'll see. Maybe I'd be willing to branch out. Sure.
I mean, it seems like your manager Taylor Cleek's trying to make moves for you already.
You know what? I would not even worry about what that guy's doing because right now he's counting out the Streamlabs upstairs, and if he doesn't bring enough back, Thursday is going to be for really rage. We're not doing this hokey carnival crap down here anymore if he's not bringing in the numbers. Okay, so don't worry about that guy. Are we trying to branch out? Look, here's what I'll say about this season. This season, you got to see Rick Raddus take the training wheels off. Next season, I'm doing a Evel Knievel wheelie off a ramp through a ring of fire, Daddy-O. You ain't seen nothing yet.
See, Rick, and before we let you go, because I know you only give us so much time out of your busy schedule, and we're eternally grateful for that. But if you could, in a sentence, how would you describe your first full season in the movie Trivia Schmoedown as a part of the Finstock Exchange?
What else? Perfect.
Uh-oh.
Hey, there's one of my good friends, Peggy Gibbons. PG. Yeah, good to see you. We had fun, Peggy and I. Yeah. Well,
but Rick,
not everybody can say that, but I can.
All cats aside, thank you so much for coming on Spin from the Reel. This is probably my favorite conversation I've had with you.
Well, it's been your pleasure, so I'm happy to hear that.
And yes, I guess. But thank you so much, and congratulations on the season 3-0, none to scoff at, especially in how different this league was this year. You excelled in it, so congratulations.
Exactly as I told them. I told them all. They doubted me every step of the way, but I told them, and I have never disappointed. And who knows, next time you see the Rager on Spin from the Reel, I may have a hockey jersey hanging from the rafters, if you know what I mean. It's going to be a good year, baby.
Everyone, please give it up. Rick Raddus, the Rager, the El Rey del Rage. Thank you so much, Rick Raddus. Eternally grateful, and maybe we'll talk to you soon.
We'll see. Rager out.
Sweet. Thank you, Rick Raddus, the Rager, the Rage Meister, Rage Master, whatever you want to call him. He truly did have a great showcase at the canteen, and not like say what you want about the match, but I think seriously, like when I said last week, it was a must win for him. It really was.
Hey, a dub's a dub. That's what we always say. A dub's a dub.
Yeah, a win's a win.
Or if you doesn't matter if you win by an inch or a mile.
Yes, and with the whole presentation, like it wasn't even just Rick Raddus going and playing movie trivia, is how the crowd receptive to him, and how Christian and Mark were going to go off him, how Frankie was going to react to playing him in person. Like it was a whole thing, and that also played into why I said last week he was like that match was a must win, and he got it regardless of how he did it. He got the match won, and I know some folks weren't too kind about how the match was played. Again, a win is a win. Like it's not the worst match ever. Let's not act like that was the worst match ever, because it definitely wasn't. We've seen worse. But shout out to Rick Raddus. Thanks for coming on the show. And I meant that. Like he said some cross things on other shows that we've done with him. And in private, when we've gotten to talk to him the very few times, because usually it's through Taylor Cleek, his advocate. But geez, Rick, you did it, man. Great first season. Into the whole Fin Stock Exchange. I know we talked a lot about Goal Leader earlier, but I've seen that conversation of, oh, Fin Stock Exchange has most wins, least losses, points, and we've talked about that with other members of the Exchange when they've come on this show. But big love to the Exchange. I've said it. I think I said it when Ty and Khan were here, but they Taylor Cleek in the chat, did he say whether I get to keep this? I think so. Depends on the Streamlabs.
Apparently, like I've been bought out of part of my company and didn't know it, so
yeah. So it depends. It very much depends. I would ask him, Taylor, but the whole Exchange this year, like they've defied all expectation, and they excelled in their own position because there was so much doubt and question because of how many rookies they drafted.
Yeah.
Which spoiler alert, it was all rookies with the exception of Taylor Robinson. But
there's an asterisk. I'm with Craig on that. There's an asterisk by that because she only played in a
right.
So
right.
like she's a rookie.
But the Exchange this year, they played supremely well, and their season's not done by any means. But the Exchange, they surpassed all expectation. Good for them. Good on them. And Rager is just a part of that. Same thing for Moose Haas was in the chat. Same. Rager likes horror. He could host Really Scared. I think he could. The definition of Gucci, right? But the whole Exchange this year, just hats off to them, because even with all the shit they got a lot of shit throughout the entire season, and they've killed it. ASG in the chat, they're on track to do as I predicted. I said fail or end mid of the pack, and it looks like it's going to be the latter.
You can't say that right now, because if Griffin Newman wins against Page, he's going to be on a solid track for a title shot.
Griffin Newman's going to be a part of 2 title matches. That's spectacular. And that's a lot of points.
If that happens, guess what? They're right there up at the top. The top.
And Goal Leader. If he wins the Star Wars tournament and he faces and bests Thomas Harper at Spectacular, it's even more points. There are a lot of points on the board for the Exchange. So who knows? But again, who the hell knows?
Your math could be off, ASG.
I mean, it depends on how these matches go. Paige can easily best Nooms. I don't want to say easily, but she could best Nooms.
Right.
He does have to get through Bibbs. Yeah, that left side of the bracket's rough.
I think that's highly possible, though. King Arthur can easily get through Deception. Let's not act like Deception's been this pillar of just monstrosity, can't lose type situation. They're a team that has the capability of losing.
Right, and Deception has lost before in situations like this. So, and King Arthur, they had a lot of potential to start, and a lot of folks knew they were going to be a threat. And after beating Press Room, that was a pretty decent win, especially off of Horowitz, who's been pretty hot. The live event excluded, he's been doing pretty well this year. Yeah. So who knows? But there are still a lot of points on the board for the Exchange. And Cam, I saw your comment. I'm excited to see the match today. Danger Zone, Parker, and Dan in singles is their best shot. I don't think Del Rio is beating Bibbs. But that's a great segue, Jeremy Miller, to talk about Diamond Dave Del Rio and his victory against James White this past Friday.
Man, I was on the edge of my seat.
That was a goodie. It was a goodie for sure. Like, I know last week we spoke highly of Diamond Dave Del Rio, but James White, and we might have talked about this last week. James White's been put up against some hard opponents, some hard folks, and this match was nothing less. Yeah, there was some misses across the board from both players, but they played super well, and the match came down to a 5 at the last second, which is that's schmoedown at its best, unpredictable, edge your seat. Like Diamond Dave barely eking out the victory. Good on him, 100%.
Diamond Dave. I'm sorry, just outside, like Is that the worst move Cade made this year?
I love that we're going to bring this up every week because it's genuinely a mind-boggling decision. Yes.
Sugar's not here to yell at
Bad
us.
call. It was a bad call. Yes. Like, Leo Logan in chat, Del Rio is a shoo-in for comeback player nomination. Went from 1-3 across his first 2 seasons, and now 3-0 for the year so far.
Yeah.
Right. Like when Kate first dropped Del Rio, I think
Thank
the
you, Cam.
entire yeah, shout out to Cam in the chat. I think everyone in the entire community, regardless of social media platform and or after show, we were all like, huh? Like just across the board. And I know she picked up Ross, and Ross only had the one match and lost to Nikki. Ross still played really well though. So her scouting of Ross was definitely like it proved dividends. It's just she had him, or she by the process of bracket had to have him play Nikki. So that's just what happens. But Del Rio 3-0 this year is Leo Lokenstein, my best friend in the chat, and he's that's is that his worst performance that we've seen him? Like that's by far the worst this year.
Oh yeah, it's probably that's his worst since his match before Chance, honestly.
Right, and I know a lot of folks, myself included, talk about that Chance match a lot because it was super slept on last year. When people were talking about best matches of the year, that match was incredible. And it was just a great showcase into what Diamond Dave could really be. And that was what we expected going into this year. He was dropped. Now it's 3-0. And that isn't necessarily what we got with the James White match. Let's not act like James White played like any better or had a better statistical match than he did. I think they were very close in regards to like percentages and all that fun stuff. But at least I saw from the subreddit. Shout out to them. But getting dramas, he went down to multiple choice twice. And then White spun opponent's choice.
What's up,
What's going on, Corey? What's good, brother? I gave you a shout out earlier, Corey. You missed it. And I think about you every time I see Ghost. I will talk about that a little bit later. I have a little fun story. But which we are still going to watch that movie. I don't know when, but I haven't forgotten about it, Corey. James ended his season 1 and 2. James White gets the shit end of the stick every time. Yeah. And I feel so bad for him. But he got opponent's choice this time around. And for those wondering, I'm looking down at my notes. And then he's given Reese Witherspoon, only goes to multiple choice once, but he misses one at the same time. The same testament. So it's hard. Granted, Diamond Dave didn't capitalize on that miss, but it's
still not something you want.
Right. And I know opponent's choice, it really just means nothing at this point because a lot of folks succeed at opponent's choice and they do pretty well in it, depending on the category. But I believe James missed his 3, got his 5 though. But Diamond Dave getting at the last second, pulling that 4 rooms question from Tarantino. It was pretty damn impressive. And pull out the victory 21-20. It wasn't sloppy, but by how high we hold these two players, it was a lesser game for the two of them, but it was still very close. Like it's still very, very close. And I see you, Corey, always have that calendar spot open. I know. Now that I'm in this new APT, I'm gonna have to hit you up about that, Corey. Because again, I went to the movies this past weekend. I saw a picture of Whoopi Goldberg from Ghost. So again, talk about that later. But we will see more of Diamond Dave. And I know earlier, I think it was ASG saying he doesn't see him getting past Bibbs. Bibbs looks white hot right now. Granted, that's how Bibbs has always looked in the schmoedown career. White hot.
And then it takes one thing to cool him off. Right.
And it's that one performance that isn't as expected, or it's spectacular and he loses in a team's match. But I'm curious to see what kind of Dave we get in this tournament going forward. There's still a lot of good peeps in this. I don't think there's a clear-cut favorite, but Bibbs looks really good. Griffey Nooms, the winner of Griffey Nooms for Betty is going to be probably my favorite, even in the tournament, including Bibiani, to win the damn thing. But that's a conversation we can have when we get there, when the matches are more solidified and laid out for the rest of the tournament. But Dave, I love that you started this conversation with, "Oh, Kate, Dave, what the hell?" like, yo, and I know the Den's like statistically out of the faction race, but like, I want, and I know she's probably answered this 1,000 times on other shows or in conversation about her dropping Del Rio.
She answered it when we did Schmoe Me the Real that one week with her.
Oh, right. Like, and I wasn't on that show. What was I doing that night? I was probably
that was you working.
Right. So yeah, but I think Kate did all right with the hand she was dealt, and picking up Thomas Harper as early, and everyone was like, "Who?" And now we're all like,
"Not
"Oh
me
my
and
God.
you."
Oh my God, Kate.
Everyone in our group chat was like, "Yo," and he probably can do it too.
Right, like we're of course like us, like all the Thomas Harper fanboys, which Spin from the Real admittedly was the second we got them talking to him, but it was like, yo, like that's a pretty early draft pick. All the early draft picks like really succeeded this year. They proved a lot of folks wrong. So, and one of those folks that was drafted pretty early to the surprise of a lot of folks, a lot of people. I keep saying folks. Was Amadou Moses. He was drafted pretty high by the suspects. And oh, yeah. Did you not see that? For those audio listeners, Del Rio has more points this year than the Den's singles and teams players combined. Isn't that freaking insane? That is insane. Insane stat. And yes, see, I try my segues. I try.
Why you want to make me cry, Chris?
So let's talk about Moses and Kalinowski, because
let me go get the tissues.
And I said this at the top of the show. I'll say it again. I watched this match in full before the show started because I was seeing French Dispatch and Dune Friday night, so I only got to see Alvarez and Raddus. Like that match ended as I was walking into the theater or into the auditorium. But I was very curious, and it's hard to avoid spoilers over the weekend. It's hard, especially like I'm cool with the spoiler rule. I don't want to have that conversation. I'm cool with that. I fully expected it. And it happened. I got the match spoiled for me. Or at least I thought I did. Because I was watching the match as it was panning out. And it got all the way down to the 5. And I was thinking like, yo, like, did Mike lose this? Like, was I misinformed? And then everything that I knew about the match, or I thought I knew about the match, went out of my head. And I was like, holy shit. That entire 5th round had me losing my goddamn mind. And like Mike being down 3 points after that kick-ass speed round that Amaru had. And Mike pulls it out at the end. And the final score is 28-25. That makes it sound like, oh, geez.
I do want to say I feel like Mike had an easier 5. I'm just saying. I'll be
what
the one.
Was Mike's 5 again? It was the Mike's 5. Oh, it was the Predators 5. The Mahershala Ali one.
Yes. Who doesn't know an Oscar-winning actor? And one of just like 2 or 3 black actors in that film.
I mean, and yeah, ASG mentions it was a casting question, and the rough part about this whole thing, and I know I don't want to get into the whole questions that are subjective, whatever.
Yes,
but Amaru, and I don't know what Mike said to him afterwards, and maybe Amaru has said it on other shows, but Mike definitely had to show his respect and love to Amaru. Amaru had his ass.
Amaru had his ass on a silver platter, and he got casting question versus detail question. That I guess that's why I'm upset. That's why I am actually upset with the choice. You know what I mean?
No, and I get it, right? the result, like when the match ended and Christian, as Amaru's 5 pops back into my head, it was Back to the Future maneuver question. But when the match happened and Amaru made his guess, or I think he said A's manure or something in that vein, in regards to Back to the Future, and it was like, and still your champion. Like I just kept exclaiming, "Wow!" Like wow. I said this. I've been saying this for the last few weeks that Kalinowski Dandapani was one of my favorite matches of the year. This one may take that solely because of like, I like the match was told to me, or I thought it was prior to me, which I mean, I got the match spoiled for me. Mike was nothing but dope after the match, gave me all the pops, as he should have, as he should have, because holy shit, like and E-Man, it's all good though. It's it was a fantastic match, and Amaru shutting up all the haters or shutting up all the critics if he had any. Cause I'm pretty sure a lot of folks, us included, were rooting for Amaru.
We were this close to having a brother as the IG champ. We were this close.
I swear to God, I thought someone lied to me. I'm like, I thought Mike won going into this. No worries, gentlemen. It's first minute. And if E-Man's calling his brother shot, then by all means. But I think like the whole match, right? And just to break this down for a second, like Mike was up, and they had a couple misses in the first round. Mike spins Batman to the chagrin of literally everyone in the room. I think everyone groaned all at once. He had to go down to multiple choice one time, but then when Amaru spun Middle Earth and plowed through that mother trucker, tying the thing, it was like, I'm like, oh shit, like okay, like this is rad. I like this. Like this is very, very competitive, and it's not like, oh, Mike's just like the superior, like preying on Amaru. Like at no point was it that. If anything, Amaru had the upper hand. It was just that the Transformers 3 and then Back to the Future 5. And yes, like and stupid Chris had no idea had no clue of either 5. But yeah, the detail maneuver question for Back to the Future seemed a little bit more difficult. Because I'm like, I think I explicitly said, holy shit, they want the name of the manure from that one scene. Like, I'm like, that is nuts, you know? And again, I don't want to make this conversation about which 5 was harder, which one was more difficult. But
we kind of are. We kind of are.
But Amaru's performance in the whole game, and I'm not even trying to butter him up because of him in the chat. Like, I would say if he was here, I would say if he was sitting right next to me, like how he handled the speed round was something that like most pros still can't do. Most vets, I should say, still can't do. Like folks still get intimidated by the buzzer, especially with how it's been away for a minute. Now it's back. Amaru handled that significantly better than Kalinowski, who's a seasoned vet, who's had more than a couple buzzer games.
Oh, without a doubt. Without a doubt.
I bet he wrote the damn question, Cam. Like, I bet the boat knew the damn. I bet he wrote that son of a bitch. But Jeremy Miller, I could not agree with you more. I think
I agree.
It's tough
because it's tough because like I still really love that Chandru Mara match. I still really love that Chandru.
No, and it's a goodie. Like, and I love Mike Donapani as well. You know, like there's Inner Geekdom. This is why Inner Geekdom's the best, and I love it so much. I don't want it to get diminished next season. Like matches like these. Amaru was a rookie drafted high. That a lot of folks were like, "Oh God, like that's a big swing, Sam, having to getting the rookie." But Sam hedged his bets in Amaru Moses, and Amaru delivered. My man delivered. He took Kalinowski to a 5. It was his 5, but still,
he had his ass.
Like I was tripping watching the damn match, and it was so well executed. And Matt, I know you said it was the best pay-per-view, at least of the year, or one of the best.
I said it's one of the best because this felt like what we're used to, and I know I was the one just a couple months ago like, nah, digital's still fine, but getting these matches has made me realize, no, Christian's absolutely 100% right.
No, and don't get me wrong, I was right there with you, like, hey, that digital's cool. And then you
Like
see stuff like this, and then it's like, oh,
this,
okay.
like this, these have like, and to the, I'm not gonna lie, all of us here at Spin for the Real have been burnt out. Like we all have. That's like that's why, like, even when Chris was moving, he took a break. I took my five, and we've had these talks. All these matches. There's so much, and we're thankful that it's going back to 2 matches a week plus one big pay-per-view a month. Because it allows for us to have more fun and the return of the storylines. Like, I don't think you could have pulled off what you did with Rager and Kevin Smith in a digital match. Like him calling out, it wouldn't have the same gravitas.
Oh, right, especially at the Cantina, right?
Yeah. So like, and ASG, it's not about the buzz for me. I still think Fast Money's better than the buzzers. I'll stay with that. I will keep to that.
Ooh.
Because Fast Money's about the fast. Here's my thing: the buzzers are
oh, you're it's not. It doesn't become a mental sport anymore. You're all about you're the buzzer. I see. Yeah, I see you. I have seen that a ton all over the place. So I don't disagree with you. I think I still prefer the buzzer because of like shit like what Amateur did in this match.
And see, that's perfectly fine, but like, right. How cool would it have been to see both of them knock out 10 straight questions and still go like,
right?
It's just it's no, the buzzers is not a part of a mental sport. That is about your just that
it's
is
the timeliness to hit the button. Like I see what you mean, ASG. I kind of understand what you're saying.
I get the recall part of it is mental, but when you throw the button aspect, when you throw that button aspect into it, no.
The yeah, Cam in the chat. I'm a fast money person too. # Grace to the answer in the live chat. Yeah, and I agree with Amaru, who has experienced the buzzer. It's both mental and it's not.
And that's exactly what we're saying.
It's like I see what you're saying. I disagree, but I see what you're saying. Like I disagree. I agree to disagree. Either way, I think I prefer the buzzer because it was, again, maybe it's because it's what we've seen for so long. And it's been a part of the schmoedown for X amount of years now, and it's just been a part of the game. But matches like Moses Kalinowski, where it's the newer guy and the dude who's played 3 divisions consistently for years, and Moses took him all the way to the 5th round, the final question. And I know Amaru has probably been kicking himself since this match happened. But holy shit. And E-Man said earlier in the chat, I'll say it again, like Amaru, like with time, could be up there in the same conversations and maybe blasphemous, but with the Canopics, with the Dondapanis, with the Cushings, with the Kalinowskis, you know? Like this man just had a great performance in his first title match in his rookie year.
Mm-hmm.
Like, holy God. And Amaru, like, I totally understand. Like, I'm not a competitor. Like, I'm not gonna act like I am, or that I even know what you're feeling or felt then or am feeling now. But that was one incredible showcase. And it wasn't like, it's rad to see like folks that look like Matt and I succeed in this thing. And yeah, you may not have pushed through that glass ceiling that has existed for a minute now, but holy hell, you got close. Damn close, and you're gonna get it. It's a matter of time. Like it's a matter of time before you do. And it's so rad. And big love to Mike. I know we've been showing a bunch of love to
the surprise special guest last week.
Right, like shout out to Mike Kalinowski for having to play the comeback game. The GOAT, in my opinion, of Interkick, Mike Kalinowski, was down going into the 5th round, 3 points, you know, and having to scratch and claw your way back to getting that, no doubt about it, Amaru, but having to scratch and claw your way back to best someone who was on fire, you know, like Amaru was battling from behind that whole time until the 5th round. E-Man, can we also give props that he held that in the entire live event? Yo, he didn't tell you, E-Man. Rad. Yo, big love. That's a big ass secret. But Mike Kalinowski played super well too. You know, yeah, he was talking his shit, and he was doing his thing with that $1 million smile, and what Amador was doing was, you know, like yeah, it's Mike, that's the killer, you know, but Mike was on his game too, personality and with the performance in the movie trivia. Yeah, the premature buzzer with the first question in the speed round was kind of like, whoa, dude, like let's pump the brakes, let's calm down. I know they were tied, but still. But Mike, like, that's another defense. Not too many folks can say they defended the IG belt multiple times. That is nuts. While playing teams, while playing singles. I know he has to play teams in a minute, but not playing while playing singles. He's still in the singles tournament, you know? Like, Mike Kalinowski also deserves his flowers, but even in a loss, Amadou definitely deserves his flowers. Both of them do. It's a great match.
Yeah.
And again, I'd be saying this shit even if Amadou wasn't in the chat. Like, it was killer. I loved it. Pun intended. I loved it. Like, this is why we watch matches like these. It's why we watch. It's why the schmoedown exists, you know? Because like people like folks like Matt and I, yeah, it's great seeing a person of color do this thing, but it's also just a great match.
Yeah, it was
Great to watch.
Like I've been able to hold back, but no, Amr is one of those guys who I've just been able to talk to and just be real with. Even though I goof around with him all the time, that the land claims him, which we still do, as much as you don't like it. Just to see him up there and doing his thing and taking Mike to the edge really meant a lot.
Word, and I echo that. Maybe not about the Cleveland part, but I echo everything you just said. Amadou's the future. That exactly, William. Like very, very.
What's up, party?
Party in chat. Yeah. Amadou, right? And big love to Amadou. Big love to Mike Kalinowski. Even though Amadou, like, he has a poor choice in basketball teams, like it's gonna be the one thing we share.
Just like Chris does. Just like Chris does.
The one thing we can share, Amadou, is that both of our teams haven't been good in about 20 years. So,
I don't know. He had a team that was good last year, so
let's pump the brakes. But I love that match. I loved it so much. It was that emotion, the character. I think that both of them really brought it, even in the pre-promos. Like, Amadou's lived up to the hype. He's lived up to the hype. Y'all don't want to hear any bullshit going into next season. Jeremy Miller, I believe Amadou will get the belt next season, but his competition is top tier with Mara, Chanju, Parker, Mike. Totally. Inner Geekdom's hard as hell. Just because Star Wars has begun to spotlight lately, people forget how hard Inner Geekdom is. Yeah. Like, it's very, very difficult. And now Mike has Robert Parker at Spectacular. Like, we may see, because Parker's been killing it.
I'd love to see Parker take that.
And especially, like, take it for the dungeon, and because, like, you know, the whole story behind, like, how Smets was cool.
Chris, what would you do if the Corruption lost all their belts?
I like this shirt be wet, dude, from all the tears I'd be wiping from my face. The IG division is so stacked, I love it. Yes. Yeah. But now we got Parker Kalinowski. Parker, he could potentially bring that IG belt back to the dungeon after everything with Kevin Smets and Kevin being cool with Kaiser taking Parker so early last draft, and it all comes full circle to getting the belt, beating Mike, someone who has a storied history with Smets and has and if Mike beats Parker, that's just another notch in the Inner Geekdom hierarchy that Mike is just knocking down, you know? Like, that Inner Geekdom match is gonna rule. It's gonna be so rad. And the fact that, like, we're gonna be there, Matt, and we're gonna see the whole thing. Anyone who in the chat is gonna be at Spectacular. Can't wait to see y'all. But that's in a few weeks. In a few weeks, we're gonna be there. Watch Kalinowski, Parker, and yeah, about a month. You know, I can't wait. I cannot wait. What a great week of matches. This is why I like the damn schmoedown. Why I love the damn schmoedown.
Like, Chris, let's be honest. This has been the most excited we've been for a show in a while.
No, man, like, I come into these shows every time and I give 100%, 110% effort.
Yes.
But, like, like weeks like this,
it reminds you why we do it.
It's 5 matches has been a lot, and any after show, anyone watching, like it's hard to keep up. And there have been folks who are vocal about how difficult it has been to keep up, especially people have lives and they can't dedicate hours of content or hours of their lives to watch a schmoedown, which I totally understand. But like, shit, the schmoedown can be very, very fun and we've seen and heard people directly be like, "Oh, nah, like movie trivia, nah, it's lame." And then they start watching and they're like, "Holy shit!" And now they're invested. Cam, I'll party with y'all after. I have a crash pad detail. Yo, like, come on, Cam. But it's gonna be so rad. Cam, I like this shit's rad. Let's do wheel slice predictions in GTFO.
Mike Ryan, bro. Like, how is it not?
I mean,
the biggest swerve, followed by Middle Earth. Like, those two. Those would be my two.
Meg Ryan for Rager. I would give it to Meg Ryan, but he missed that first question, and Frankie stole it.
No, Frankie didn't steal it.
Oh, yeah, he did. Yes, he did. It was Kate Leopold.
I could have swore he missed it.
Yeah.
Go back and look at this. But no, I mean, just in general, that was a giant swerve. Bruh. Shannon's tweet was cold.
What was Shannon's tweet? Was it about Amaru?
No, yeah, it was about all the Fan League 4.
She buried the Fan League 4. Shout out
You
to
didn't see it?
4. No, I didn't. I have no idea what you're talking about.
I gotta show this to you. Hold on.
Shout out to Shannon Barney, friend of the show. I think I'm agree with Leo Logan in this. Ice Cube. I love Spinner's Choice turning into Ice Cube. Ben Bateman is black actors, man. And black actors in the second round works. Jeremy has Reese Witherspoon. That was a goodie. Opponent's choice. Shout out to Suge. Opponent's choice. Oh shit. Damn.
It was a good one. I'll admit.
Holy hell. That's rough.
Like I'm not even a corruption fan, but that is.
Sheesh.
Yeah.
That tweet's bussin' as Christina would say.
Yeah.
Damn. Holy shit. I think I'm gonna go with Ice Cube. I'm gonna agree with Leo Logan in the chat.
Yeah.
If Mike didn't go multiple choice on Batman, I would have picked Batman. But I'm picking Ice Cube. I think I can say that in confidence. But there are some good ones. I do love Emily Blunt. Shout out to Emily Blunt for the Untouchables. Revenge of the Sith for Gold Leader, and Meg Ryan for obvious reasons. I'm already talking about she needs champions to 3/4 of that though. Did you say that to her? Say it to her, Amaru.
Yeah, like why didn't like if you haven't said that to her, why haven't you yet? That's all I gotta say. Like,
big love of the fan leagues: Marisol Collins, Chance Blendon, and James White. Shout out to Jacob
and Rick Raddus. Don't forget Rick Raddus.
And Rick Raddus. Holy shnikes. Let's do predictions. Do you have the matches pulled up?
Let me see. I got been juggling a lot over here.
No, you're good. But
I'm lucky. I searched it enough words. So like, here it is. All right. So to end this
thanks,
week,
HG. I see what you're talking about. What's up?
To end this week, the matches we have Damon versus Demolanta.
Fudge Ripple.
All right. I'll be bold here. I think I'm going Nikki. What's up, Deacon? Love you, man. Hey, guys, Deacon. By the way, be sure Friday to go check out the What the Show.
It's the anniversary show.
I believe it's the anniversary show. I couldn't remember if it was hitting a certain subscribers or anniversaries, but be sure to check that out. I love the guys over there at What the Show. Mike, Justin, Bethany, AJ. Love talking to those guys and just hanging out with them when I can. They're great people. All the money they raise that night is going to be going to Ben Bateman as he recovers from surgery today. So, yes.
Damn right. Check out What the Show, their anniversary show on Friday. Great folks over there with the show.
Yes.
They've been so kind to me.
I can't wait to meet Mike and Beth next summer. Woohoo!
What are we talking about? Demolanta.
I'm going Nikki, bro. I'm going Nikki.
Oh Christ.
Yes, I will.
What was the question? Word. What's good? I want to pick Nikki. Of course, I want to pick Nikki.
Listen to your heart.
Nikki's my favorite guest for real. But it's Alex. It's Alex. Who's chat picking? For those in the chat, I mean, Amadou showed his cards. E-Man showed his cards. But chat, I want to know who you got in this. Because I don't know. I want to pick
Chris.
It's Alex.
I don't care. Listen to your heart. Your heart is what you really feel.
Oh, Party got that. Oh, Party probably watched the match, and Brian already watched the match. Okay. Yeah. Damn it. You know what? I remember when I picked against a Demolanta to beat a Damon.
Do you have to replace this with the Jeopardy music at this point?
I remember the first time Andrew Demolanta played Alex Damon. I picked Alex.
Don't tell us we haven't watched the match. And we know all of you have watched it. We don't watch these matches.
Everybody's seen the match. No spoiler hints. I don't want no spoiler hints.
We don't watch these because we don't want to spoil them by accident for those people who don't watch.
Just because. No, damn.
Damn it, Corey.
I'm picking Nikki.
Damn it, Corey. God damn it.
What a spoiler! I'm picking Nikki. I want Nikki to win. I want her to win so bad.
All right, there we go. All right, next.
Oh my god! Yeah.
I'll go first again. It's Deception versus King Arthur. We already know who I'm rocking with. The Finstock Exchange.
Fudge Ripple.
King Arthur for the win. Get Griffey Nunes closer to that Rookie of the Year. King Khan is a G. Love you, Khan. Got to get you back on here. Hey, let's speak
of course he pops into the chat.
Hey,
I'm wearing the Corruption shirt.
And he's
picking
saying
Hand doing his first loss. Session will give his first loss. What's up?
I'm not gonna lie, I'm a hoe too.
Word, what's up, PLD?
He's just reminding you, you can hold yourself out. You don't have to stick with corruption.
I did wear the shirt because I did pick Mike last week. But fuck, God, I'm picking and Cam. Yeah, I see your comment, Cam.
Broke Chris's heart a little bit.
I do love Adam Collins. But I'm picking. Oh, shit. I'm wearing the. I'd be lying. I'm picking Deception. Oh, you know, I changed my mind. I want you to win. I want you to win. I do.
You want to know?
Whoever wins, I win. Whoever loses, I lose.
This is what Khan told you.
Still ain't got no skill.
Yo, Matt's. That's how you know we're gonna end the show. And Matt's using his soundboard at the time.
Hey,
Khan, I'm rooting, and every person except Griffey Nunes is a friend of the show involved in this match. We do love Adam Collins. We love Marisol McKee. We love King Khan. I'm gonna hear it. Yeah. Fine, Jeffrey. Fine.
Yes, I'm converting Chris.
ASG brings up a great point. If Deception loses, it's the end of Deception. I don't think so, but we'll see.
Who knows?
Factions look different next year.
Yeah.
But I
soundboard.
refer to Cam's comment a little bit earlier. I think that would answer your question, ASG. Marco's the friend of every show. Word. I have not seen the new Masters of the Universe, so I can't.
Chris has been canceled from the Really. He has not watched the new Masters of the Universe.
Nah, if you're gonna cancel me, motherfucker. Like, but nah, whoever wins, I'm gonna be happy for.
Yeah.
I would like to see. I'm always an advocate for change, and I would like to see King Arthur advance. But if Deception wins, too great. I like Marisol playing twice that spectacular or getting closer to that. I'd be cool with that. We'll see.
All right. Next up, my favorite factions can't stop playing each other. Finstock Exchange versus Swag. Barbarian versus Paul Oyama. God damn.
Shit. Damn, these matches are good. Holy crap. Oyama, Barbarian.
Give me Craig. I'm picking Craig. I'm a shill to the core. The price is always going up, baby. Finstock Exchange.
I think I'm gonna take. I mean, Oyama still has that title shot, or will he?
No, that's the thing.
Shit. Chat, who you got? Oyama, Barbarian. I need help. This is a goodie. I know Barbarian hasn't been having the best season. Oyama, I mean, neither has he, but he won free for all. That's definitely a feather in your cap. ASG has Oyama, Party, Corey.
Hey, here's one thing you gotta remember about Craig. Craig can either be. Craig has his days where he's low, but for the most time he's riding the highest of highs. Think about that match against Bibiani. I will never in my life count Craig out of a match. Craig the Barbarian.
I don't want to. Let's not. I'm not saying I'm counting out Barbarian. This is another toss up to me. All three of these matches are toss ups. I think I'm also gonna go Barbarian in this, but that's only with the caveat that I think Oyama will be okay with it after this loss if he still has his free for all thing. But if he gives it to Chandra, then what the hell?
Yeah,
I'm rocking.
never believe Chandra.
Valid. But he supposedly gave it. Who knows? We don't know yet. Until I hear the official confirmation. Craig probably studies more than anyone.
Craig gets these guys prepped. Craig is an encyclopedia of knowledge, and the times I've been lucky enough to talk with Craig, whether it's been on this show, off this show, in DMs, Craig has nothing but knowledge, and I love my conversations with Craig.
If I knew for sure that Oyama would be okay, I'm picking Craig. I'm picking Barbarian. Yeah, but again, that one can go either way. It just depends on the questions, as per every match, I guess. But it's a good week. This could be a very good week for the exchange if they can see King Arthur and Barbarian pick up wins. But who the hell knows?
Well, hold on. I'm gonna go back to Twitter for a moment because I only got one more match to call. You're right. Who the hell knows? And I'm gonna go to our buddies at the schmoedown standings real quick. And right now, as of this past Friday, the exchange has 67 points.
Mm-hmm.
These wins could be huge.
Right.
Like they could potentially vault into number 2 and just be a few points off of corruption.
Right.
And especially if King Arthur gets this win over
like the tournament win, or just like
King Arthur plays Deception.
Right.
So that really helps them out if they get this win, because that knocks out one of Deception's biggest pieces. This entire thing is a chess game.
Right, because it would eliminate another corruption match at Spectacular if they were to go to the final and win.
And And
Maybe have a lot
all,
factions at the top.
all that would be left for corruption in all of the leagues, if I remember correctly, if Deception were to lose, is Mike Kalinowski in singles.
He's in singles tournament, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's what I said. It's him in singles. He'd be the last remaining piece
and
in all the. Well, I'm talking about I'm just talking about in tournament play. In tournament,
sure.
In tournament play, he'd be the last piece they have left.
So
if he were to lose, corruption can't move up those standings.
They'd be stuck until spectacular.
So spectacular gets really interesting at this point because
if I'm not mistaken, aren't the point values higher too?
They're like a point or two higher since it's tournament match.
Right.
So like,
well, I'm talking at spectacular.
Yeah, spectacular. I think
it's not like 10 points or some shit.
Yeah, I think it's 10 points because it's spectacular.
That's nuts.
So like, bro,
folks aren't gonna be happy with that.
Corruption, corruption could potentially lose the faction title. Yeah, corruption could potentially lose the faction title to the dungeon, or if Griffey Newman just keeps knocking out of the park, the exchange.
We don't know who will. I'm not trying to discredit anything we just said, but I'm willing to make the prediction that we'll probably find out who won the faction title by the end of the main event. And it won't be like last year's spectacular where we found out a couple matches in. We'll probably have to wait till the main event ends.
Yeah, I agree because actually, no, that's not necessarily true. So scenario, let's say we have Danger Zone or King Arthur playing whoever wins this Friday, which we'll get to in a minute, for the team's title.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if it's those are the 2 and 3 teams right now. That's 10 points. So you get that.
Is the final for the team's tournament 10 points?
I think all of them are like all the.
Holy shit! I didn't know that.
Yeah,
that's nuts. Wow.
So like,
I mean, yeah. We don't know because like Danger Zone could if it gets that far and it's King Arthur and Danger Zone, it could be Danger Zone that takes it. Who the knows? I mean, they might.
Final for the tournament. I'm not talking about the tournament. I said spectacular.
I'm talking about the tournament final.
Yeah, he's talking about. I said spectacular. I said if we had.
And I agree with you then. But I asked if the tournament finals were 10, and you said yes.
No. I think I misheard you. I thought you said this was the final. I didn't hear.
Okay. I thought it was 10.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I mean, yeah, there's still a lot of points on the board, and the exchange is set up well with Gold Leader, Nooms, King Arthur. Dungeon's still in a very good spot as well, just as much as the exchange.
Let's bring up this. We don't have a tournament bracket. Oh yeah, we do. We have the one from CPOV.
Shout out to our buddies at a certain point of view.
Yeah. So let's see. It's David Del Rio versus Bibbs. And then you have for Betty versus Nooms. So like, let's say Griffey wins. There's a few. Let's say he beats Bibbs. There's another few. And let's say that's potentially, what's that? 9 points alone right there.
I didn't realize how we're not too deep into the singles tournament yet. There's still a lot of points on the board just in singles. So any of the factions still in it have more than enough ground to make up. At least in regards to points. I know the teams tournament obviously wasn't as big. Same thing for Intergeekdom and for Star Wars. But like the factions remaining, obviously the dungeon, exchange, corruption, the mercs I think are statistically still in it because
they're tied with the exchange right now.
Right. So there's still a lot of points on the board.
Like that. So if Bibbs beats Del Rio and Griffey Nooms beats Page, that match becomes super important, especially for the exchange, because that can halt what the mercs are doing.
Right, it could stop the Mercs. Right,
And then
don't the
and I was about to say, and that's the perfect segue to this Friday where we
Right.
have the Mercs defending their team's title with Shazam playing Lightning Time.
Oh, that's another biggie too.
So if Shazam retains, they're going to jump up 2/3 in the standings.
Jeez.
At 75 points.
I'm going to pick Shazam.
I guess you and I are on the same page here because Shazam.
Solely? Go ahead.
What I was about to say is Shazam is just like, dude, like they're both hot. They're both hot as singles players right now. Ooh, Brian Nussbaum has Lightning Time. Jeremy Miller has Shazam.
See Jeremy, okay. Oh yeah, if Meyer Bibbs in the finals, there's still a lot of singles tournament left, which is crazy as hell.
Yeah, it doesn't hit you until it doesn't hit you.
Meyer Bibbs too.
You
can have a Shazam Civil War.
Let's be honest. This is officially it's down to 4 teams. Corruption probably isn't moving anywhere in these standings. The Stars probably ain't moving. Like they can move if Janine beats Mike. They can move around in the standings, but
if she doesn't beat, race.
Yeah, it's we're down to, and mathematically speaking, we're down to the Mercs, the Exchange, the Dungeon, and Corruption.
Right.
And Corruption can't do much moving, so we're going to be jockeying for positions 2 through 4 for the rest of the way, and that's what's really interesting about this.
You have Mike in singles, you have Deception. If they get past King Arthur, but that's only 2 horses. You got like the Dungeon. Like you still have Dan in singles, and I forget Shazam has Party of Shazam 100%. I forgot who mentioned it earlier, but the Dungeon, like you have Dan, you have Danger Zone, and you have Parker with the guaranteed Inner Geekdom shot at Spectacular. Obviously, we talk about the Exchange,
and that becomes big because if Mike loses that, then Marisol has to win the teams tournament for them to have a shot. Like they have to win both to clinch it. Mm-hmm. They can't only win one.
Right.
So the pressure. And I think if we had known this going into our conversation with Shannon a couple weeks ago, that would have been a great killed to ask her about.
Well, so much has happened since then.
Yeah.
So these matches are must win, y'all. From this point forward, obviously with the tournament, but every point matters. And ASG made a great point with and if Lightning Time wins, it gets a lot more interesting with these title match victories. But who the hell knows? Lord knows I don't, and I pick these things for fun. But Matt, did we miss anything?
No, that's it. We got it all.
Holy hell! Well, with that being said, thanks you guys for hanging out with us on Spin from the Real this week. We greatly appreciate it. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Leo, E-Man, Amaru. Again, man, congrats on the match, man.
Thank you for Rick Raddus for coming on.
Yes, of course. Thank you to our guest, Rick Raddus. Water under the bridge, Rick. Water under the bridge. Everyone in the chat, Brian.
Thank you. Peggy.
Malcolm, I saw you earlier. Peggy.
King Kong.
Cam. All you folks in the chat.
Jeremy,
I love you guys so much.
Jeremy, love you coming in every week, bud.
Yeah, like we're so grateful to have all y'all in the chat, and we make it a point. And if and when I see y'all, I'm a
Chris is a hugger.
Oh yeah, Lord knows whether you like it or not. So I'm very, very excited to potentially see y'all in a couple weeks. And yes, E-Man points down. I want to echo our sentiments.
Party, we said thank you, Party. No,
I love you, Party.
Party, we never forget about you, bud.
Party, I'm gonna kiss you on the forehead when I see you. I'm gonna kiss all you on the forehead. Maybe not everybody, because folks might not be cool with that. But we'll cross the bridge when we get there.
COVID still thing.
With my mask on, I'm gonna kiss everybody on the forehead. But E-Man says in the chat, and I want to echo that. Big love to Shug. I know our man's taking a break from stuff right now, but he's going through it. Everyone's sending positive vibes, And for all the folks that send us money in the Streamlabs, we are eternally grateful. It's going to go directly to Shug.
Yeah.
And support one another in this community, man. Like we see, it seems like it's way bigger than it is, but there aren't too many of us folks that are very active in the Facebook group, the Twitter, the subreddit. Be kind to one another. Be cool. Like we
Be excellent.
Yeah, right. Just be cool with one another. Be excellent to one another, because damn, like we're all going through. We all have we all have stuff in our lives, and I know Matt and I try to be our best to all of y'all in the chat, and y'all are more than grateful to us. And we love you guys. Every single person watching now or after the fact. If you're watching this after the fact, leave a comment. Let us know what you think. Leave a like, subscribe to the channel, check out our other programming on the channel every single day. There's typically some going on all the time, so just check it out.
Real sports hasn't been on the past couple weeks because Colin had a big work project. We should be back next week, so no real sports tomorrow. That's just almost perfect timing because Hard Knocks is coming back, and we get to make fun of Toby's Colts.
Sorry ass Colts. No, they played well.
They've been playing well lately. Yeah. No, they played well against Baltimore last week, or was that 2 weeks ago, where Lamar just balled out in the last minute and just killed it. And Chris is still adjusting to the new life, so we'll eventually get back to his other shows. Maybe
the RGC and the Wrestle Row they'll be back at some point.
We might do some reshuffling of schedules just to get everything back and going. Nick and I have been talking about what we plan on doing for Real Talk. And I will say what our plan is, and that is we are going to be starting a separate show that is just drops and gives respect to the independent filmmakers we have. We're just going to start doing real interviews, and you're going to be able to listen to and the independent filmmakers we talk to, and hear their projects and all this, because we miss just talking about movies. So Real Talk is just going to be him and I BSing about movies or what that we've watched or whatnot, like it used to be back before all this became what it is now.
Before all of us nerds invaded on their private space.
because that it wasn't like that. Real Talk for the first like month or so was just us BSing about movies, and we kind of want to get back to that. So
word, yeah, like just subscribe to the channel, and we'll provide updates as we can. Follow us on the social medias down at the bottom at Spin from the Real at Wild Entertainment for more updates.
And before I forget, 2 reviews dropping tomorrow. First off, we have Antlers, aka a movie that would make Chris scream like a little bitch.
Oh, thanks, man. You're so kind to me. You're so good to me, man.
Secondly, we have Last Night in Soho, aka another movie that would make Chris scream like a little bitch.
I might see that.
Oh, that's great. George liked it. George and Lynette liked it.
Oh, if Lynette liked that, I'm definitely have to go see it now.
And they don't do horror movies. They walked out. They're like, I can't believe I actually liked a horror movie. I'm like, you didn't know it was a horror movie going into this?
I mean, I didn't know it was a horror movie until I saw the trailer again a couple days ago.
They never saw the trailer.
Good for them.
But and then Thursday, I gotta mention this. I'm gonna be on Really Scared with none other than Moose Haas himself. Gonna be talking to the boys from Really Scared.
Shout out to him.
Yes, he was. Gonna be talking about Halloween 2018, aka the best Halloween film ever made. Ooh.
Oh, real bold statement there, Matt. Not that I disagree, because I do really enjoy that movie. And
I like it more than 78. I do.
Word. They're both very good flicks, especially when I was on Really Scared talking about 78 a couple weeks ago. But just check us out. We have a lot going on. We will have a lot going on going forward. My ugly mug is on the channel as much as it used to be, but it will be at some point. So subscribe, like the videos, comments. Thanks again to everyone in the chat. We love and appreciate y'all so much. Whether you watch us every week, you watch us every other week, or you just watch us for the first time today, thank you. And don't forget, y'all, Spin from the Real, not the pegs, like the
not Rager. Like the Rager.
Yeah. We'll